Right, now this will tell us. And that's pretty conclusive. Still going. Close. I think he's got it down.
How strong is he?
Well, welcome back to another edition of the Pick and Go podcast, where we discuss all things Super Rugby. And, we've made it. It's the business end of the season, Piri. Do your, energy levels go up when you get, or did your energy levels go up when you and the Canes made the playoffs during your career?
No, you just treat it like it's another week. Try not to sort of think too much about it. You just got to make sure that you get the processes right, and then hope for the best when it comes game day. But I was excited to see that one of the franchises didn't qualify to go through to the playoffs.
Here we go.
We'll get to that soon. Oh, the poor old Waratahs. Once again, though, we're joined by Ben Searle of Surly Talk Sports from up north at the Big Smoke. Surly, how are you doing today?
Yeah, no complaints, mate. Obviously, my mighty New South Wales Blues couldn't get the job done, but I think the Auckland Blues will get the job done, so that'll make things all right again.
Well, as long as they don't get anyone sent off for the first 8 minutes, the Blues should be fine this weekend. But last week, who were you taking on? Was it?
We took on Kumu. Got the dub, defended the shield. We were actually down 21-0 after 20 minutes, so the boys were a bit rattled, but we brought it back to win 32-21, and then we had a court session after, so I'm expecting a big performance from the lads this week because we're pretty bonded at the moment.
Well, that's a huge turnaround. Down 21 and then score 32 unanswered points. Were you ever involved in a game like that, Piri?
Yes, actually last week on Saturday.
Oh,
our boys are down 14-0 at half time, and then we put a rocket up the arse, and all of a sudden it comes alive.
And you got the dub as well?
We did manage to get the dub, but they've been very slow at starting games, and we're trying to work hard on changing that.
Yeah, right. As long as you come out in the end with the W, it's okay. Then you can look back and I guess decide what areas of the game didn't work and the improvements that you can make. But come away with the points. It's always a good feeling.
Always.
Right. I've got another question. We're going to help Razor out again this week as he decides what form and shape his first All Black squad will take. And we're getting closer to the first test match of the season for the All Blacks. So this weekend, we're going to look at the midfield, which I'm not sure if you guys think this is an area where there could be a bolter, or whether you think there's going to be a wee bit of I guess consistency from last season. I guess we'll head up to Surly first, and I'm guessing that he'll be pushing for at least one of the Blues to be in that All Black midfield come that first test against England.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a really similar midfield to what we've seen over the last couple of years. I've been loving that combination between Geordie and Rieko Ioane, and I think with D-Mac running the cutter at 10 and losing Richie Mo'unga there, I think Geordie's ability to drive the game at 12 is going to be really important for us as well. And then you got Rico's speed. Like, his X factor is second to none, really. He's the quickest guy in the competition, I reckon. So those two for me are a great pairing. And then in Anton Leonard-Brown, you got a great little backup bench option as well, a real quality footballer. So I think we're pretty lucky in the midfield, but I love that combo between Geordie and Rieko.
Piri, you thinking along the same lines as Surly there? The midfield picks itself almost, and terms of Barrett and Ioane?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I was probably going to have two names that potentially might have pushed to get a look in would be Bryce Heem and Proctor. Both of them can play from at 12 or even at 13. So I've been impressed with their form. Obviously, Bryce has moved around a bit, but the old Warheads, still got it, and he's still chugging away. He's been the go-to player for the Blues, Bryce, in terms of making sure that he gets guys over there or get them over the advantage line. And he's they've sort of leaned on him when they need him to re-energize the boys, and he does a great job for them.
But fun fact, I met Bryce Heem last week, and he's a lot bigger than I actually thought. I guess because he's probably playing against players of a similar size. On telly, you don't get the real, size, height. He's quite tall. He wouldn't look out of place on the side of a scrum, I would have thought. And he's got some wheels as well. So, Surly, Bryce Heem?
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding for the Blues over the last couple of years. A few years ago, I didn't really have him ranked that highly, but I think his injury has been a big loss for the Blues over the last couple of weeks. So I'll be excited to see him come back. Another player I've been interested in watching is Quinn Tupaia, just because prior to his ACL injury, he was cemented in the midfield. Now he appears he's behind Rameka Poihepi at the Chiefs. So there's a bit of a battle going on there too. Does Quinn make the All Blacks squad? Is Poihepi someone that they look for a bit of depth too? So plenty of options.
Well, we haven't mentioned the Crusaders yet, and probably because Piri doesn't want to mention them because they're not taking part in the business end of the season. But in terms of the Crusaders, obviously Razor has a very, very deep knowledge of the culture down there. In fact, he probably created the culture down in Crusaders rugby. Is there a chance we might see someone pop up from the Crusaders, Sealy?
Yeah, David Havili already, I think you chuck him in straight away, just because of his versatility and his leadership as well. The interesting one for me will be Dallas McLeod, who was a bit of a bolter there last year. Don't think he had the strongest Super Rugby campaign as compared to last year. I was really excited to see Levi Aumua down there this year, but it didn't quite build up to the hype. I actually thought he played better for Moana than he did for the Crusaders this year, which was a bit of a disappointment for me because he was someone that I thought could bring some real X factor in that Ngani Laumape type of style of player, just a real strong ball runner. But I think David Havili for sure. I think Dallas McLeod will be a bit of a stretch now, though.
So I think we've landed on Jordie Barrett.
Did you love those last names?
Bringing Bears back, are you? Bears is coming back.
Last week, Paulie had Ronnie Clark to score a try for the Blues, which was exceptional.
Yeah, Alex Talia.
Yeah.
So Jordie Barrett and Ioane in the midfield, with possibly a Bryce Heem or a Billy Proctor, maybe, or a David Havili. I think David Havili has probably got the front running there. Maybe Anton Leonard-Brown.
Possibly with the utility side of it with David Havili, because he pretty much can cover. He's played in at fullback, in the midfield, and at 10 as well. So,
and he's had to help out the Crusaders in a number of different positions this season. So yes, it'll be interesting to see which way Razor goes. But looking forward to that first. I'm not sure I've been this excited in the build up to the first All Black Test match over there in quite a while. Now, I guess it's just because it's going to be Razor's first one. And it'll just be very, very interesting to see which players make it, and it'll probably be more interesting to see which players don't make it. So, yeah, we'll have a look at another position next week. Anyway, let's look back at the final round of the regular season for Super Rugby, round 15. And, well, the Crusaders needed to win. They needed to win big, and they did that to have any chance of making the playoffs. 43-10 over Moana Pacifica. I guess the game pretty much went to scripts early.
Yeah, I think that just that Crusaders forward pack just dominated them, didn't they? Especially off that rolling maul. Cody Taylor being the early beneficiary of a couple tries there. Moana, they certainly didn't roll over. That they always bring that physicality, and they tried hard. You'd probably have to say it was their best season so far. They didn't come home with the wooden spoon, so that was a big improvement for them too. But yeah, the Crusaders just too good. I was really rattled when they rested guys like Sevu Reece. I just didn't know what they were possibly resting for, to be honest, because this was a do or die. But in the end, they still had enough weapons in the duffel bag to get the win.
Do you agree with Surly that this was, I guess, a step up for Moana Pacifica, an improvement from the season before? They won more games than they did the season before. Look, they're on the wrong end of a number of big scores, but they keep going, and hopefully they get a few more games in the islands in seasons to come.
Yeah, just so that they can form what the Drua have when they go home. But definitely impressed by Tana's first season as head coach with Moana, helping those boys. And obviously they've lost a fair bit of experience after this season, with a few veterans that have hung up the boots. But I'm very impressed the way that they got more wins this year, even pushed a few teams to stay out of the top 8. And I think there's a few dubs that they got that no one expected, but they worked hard to show what their form can be like once they get it right.
Second game was the Reds Waratahs, and once again Queensland get the win over New South Wales. We saw that last night.
What? Just going to cop it all this whole time.
Reds 27, Waratahs 26. That's probably a scoreline we would have associated more with State of Origin, but the Reds, I guess, even though the Waratahs had nothing to play for, when New South Wales play Queensland, there's always something on the line, and they would have loved nothing more than to finish the season with a win and send the Reds into the playoffs on the back of the loss, but it wasn't to be, Surly.
Nah, I thought the Reds had a really good first half and then clearly took the foot off the throat in the second half. And I thought the Tars might have stolen it late. They had that opportunity to steal it late with that missed penalty, but unfortunately couldn't bang it over. But like you said, it's a Waratahs side about to end their season, sending off their coach. They were always going to show up and play some decent footy, but I think I predicted them in our first pod to win the wooden spoon, paying $11. So I'm pretty stoked that they did. They drew with a couple club sides in the preseason, and I thought the writing was on the wall for them. But man, they need a massive overhaul for next year. Surely now with the Rebels being out of the competition, there's a bit more talent to pick from in that Australian pool. Like the Waratahs used to be one of those teams, whenever a Kiwi side took them on, you were so nervous for the outcome. Traditionally, they were one of the strongest Aussie teams. Over the last 2 or 3 years, they've been a bit of the laughing stock. So that they really need to turn things around in a major way, and they can't just keep sacking coaches each and every year.
Pity the Tars have fallen quite a long way. I'm sure you were in amongst a number of battles against the Waratahs years and years ago, and they wouldn't have been an easy team to play, but they really have fallen on hard times here.
Oh, they have. And no, they're definitely a team that we like. Every time I played against them, either we get a good start against them, but they just fight and come back and put you under a lot of pressure. And for a franchise like that who's been pretty dominant in the Australian side of the competition, for them to go from near the top to the bottom. It obviously shows that there's either no culture involved in the whole organisation while they're continuously sacking coaches, that they should just try and rebuild. Now that obviously, Celia touched on it, that the Rebels are not going to be joining the competition again, there's an opportunity for them to try and get a few key players in certain areas to help bolster their squad. But yeah, pretty sad times for them. But I'm pretty sure after this year, hopefully they can work on what they need to get right.
Right, next game, and this was part of the Crusaders puzzle. For them to progress, they needed the Rebels to do them a favour over in Fiji, and the Rebels started off very, very nicely, and I'm guessing there were a few cheers from down Christchurch way at the beginning of that match over in Suva, Surly, but in the end, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I'd say the cheers would have turned into cracking open beers in the second half because, yeah, they pretty much watched their season come to an end in that second 40, unfortunately. But again, just another display of Fiji at home in front of a passionate crowd that was really riding them home. They needed to win this game and they got the job done. And yeah, like Piri touched on in the intro, I think there was probably 4 Kiwi fans, franchise fans out there hoping that Fiji would get the win, and then the fan base down in Christchurch hoping they wouldn't. But yeah, I must say I watched this game with a bit of a smile on my face.
Should just move on to the next game.
I think that says it all. No need to go further, Piri.
Tell us what you think of Christchurch,
You should have brought
Piri.
Izzy in. You should have brought Izzy in as a special guest for this one.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Shout out to Izzy. I guess he'll have plenty of time to play golf this weekend because he won't be watching any footy. I got Hurricanes Highlanders. I guess the only surprise, possibly the scoreline in this game. Piri 41-14. The Canes just stepped up. It was like they were playing in fourth gear, and the Highlanders were back in, well, not reverse, but just getting into first.
I think the Canes had to try and cement themselves at the top of the table. I think that's what that was. It wasn't trying to flex. It was trying to make sure that they finished with the bonus points that they needed, just so that it gives them an opportunity to get a home quarter, semi, and final if they manage to go all the way to the ship. But that's what that would have been. Canes trying to continue their form that they've had. It was good to see that Asaf was back from his injury and back to his usual rampaging bulldozer.
He looked very good, didn't he? Jeepers creepers.
It didn't look like he skipped the beat, really.
No. If there's one player you don't want to be standing in front of as he's running full tilt with the ball in hand, surely it's Asaf Aumua.
Yeah, they shouldn't allow that. Now we see hookers standing out on the wings. That's incredibly unfair. There should be a Asafo Aumua rule where he can only run the ball in the middle of the field so that it's like for like, because he's a wrecking ball. And if he hadn't have been injured throughout the year, he'd probably be right up there for your Super Rugby Player of the Year this year, because he's been outstanding, gone to another level. He got that leadership role, and it looks like he's really taken it on board. And I'm sure Razor's got plans for him too, because, man, last 20, 30 minutes off the bench, he could win you a game in a heartbeat.
Right, as you mentioned, Piri, the Canes needed to pick up the bonus point win to, I guess, have any chance of finishing top of the table. And then they needed the Blues to either lose or win without the bonus point. And I think the loudest cheer of the weekend came from Wellington as the Chiefs scored for a try, well, after the 80th minute, to deny the Blues that bonus point and give the Hurricanes that top of the table spot. So the outside of that, the Blues looked very, very clinical.
No, they did. They did. I was hoping this game would be a lot closer, very similar to the Canes Blues game. I was hoping that the Chiefs would sort of pull it together. Obviously, there's a disallowed try earlier on, and that sort of slows down the momentum. And but I mean, the Blues, to their credit, they just rolled on what they've been doing previously. Made things a bit difficult for themselves at times, but they just continued sort of their form that they've had from week in, week out.
Surely the Blues, and in particular the set piece looked very, very strong in that final round matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah, it did, and it was good to see because that was kind of the cornerstone for the first three months of the season, and then they had that little bit of a drop off there where they battled a little bit at set piece time, and then they've come back home with a wet sail. So I think under Vern Cotter, that's been their biggest improvement. I have a question for both of you though. Obviously, you want to finish first so that you get that home final if you get there. But come semi-finals time, do you want to play the Brumbies at home or do you want to play the Chiefs at home? It's an interesting predicament because I feel like the Canes almost have the hardest semi-final, even though they finished first.
Or do you want to go to Canberra and play the Brumbies? No, thanks.
No, thank you. But it's locked in, right? It'll be Blues, Brumbies at Eden Park, and it'll be Canes, Chiefs at the Tinny House. And for me, that second one is a bit more scary.
Look, I prefer. I don't think it matters. I think any team that they play in the semi-final, if they get the job done this week, it'll still be a tough matchup. I don't think it matters who they play. That's whether they show up and get their processes right during the week. But it'll be a huge opportunity though for those that travel away, just to prove that they can win on the road. I know Brumbies don't usually travel really well, but when it comes to sort of playoff footy, they always seem to make sure they get everything done the right way in terms of their processes so that they can show up and get the job done. So it doesn't matter who they have. I know it's going to be a tough matchup if they get the job done this week first.
Yes. If you look at it on paper, you probably say, even though the Brumbies finished in front of the Chiefs on the table, maybe you want to face them because you're going to be playing them over here. And I guess the travel does come into it slightly. I just think the way the Hurricanes have been playing, the big thing was locking up that number one spot and then knowing if they win, every game's going to be down here at the Tinny House. So, and the Chiefs are starting to come right. I don't think it matters. I think the Canes have got the team to be able to take care of either the Brumbies or the Chiefs, or whoever they may meet if they do indeed get through the quarterfinals. So let's get to the quarterfinals now. And the first quarterfinal, Chiefs hosting the Reds. Chiefs are $1.22, the Reds $4. Chiefs are 10.5-point favourites, and the total points set at 54.5. Surly, the Chiefs should be too good here, or can the Reds put up a wee bit of a fight? The Reds have been a wee bit of a bogey team for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50 over the last 6 games. I think they've split them. So, yeah, and the Reds famously as well ended that winning streak of the Chiefs last year, which I know the Chiefs lads are still a bit bitter about. So it is going to be, for me, this is probably the closest of the quarterfinals. I think the Reds have the best chance of pulling off the upset. But it's good to see the Chiefs. They appear to be back to full strength this week. They had Shooter out last week with that hamstring. They had Talkiaho on the bench. They weren't quite rolling out their starting 15. Looks like they're back to full strength this week. So I think the Chiefs at home will be too good. And, I'm looking for another big performance from Damian McKenzie because for me now, he's in that 10 jersey, but this is where you make it unquestionable that you're the guy to take over and lead the AVs.
Piri, Chiefs at home. They a number of changes from the squad from last season, but McMillan has put together another very, very good team, and they seem to be coming right. Even though the set piece looked shaky last week against the Blues, they should have enough in the tank to get past the Reds here.
Yeah, I think they should definitely get the job done with the stroke power that they've got. It's not quite the team that we've seen at the start of the campaign, that were freely running around and everything stuck. So obviously now we're near the back end. Teams have actually got a lot more footage that they can process to make sure that they tick all the boxes and get work on the Chiefs' weaknesses. If they've got no weaknesses, they try and figure out how they can create their own ones. But I think the Chiefs, if they can bounce back from last week's result, I think they're definitely going to be walking away with this one.
Second quarterfinal down here at the Tinny House. And we've got afternoon footy again here, 4:35 kickoff. Boy, oh boy, bookies are giving the Rebels no chance whatsoever. The Hurricanes are $1.01, the Rebels $13. Hurricanes are 27.5-point favourites, and the game total set at 58.5. Now, I know the Hurricanes have been very, very impressive all season long, but surely in a quarterfinal, even if you do get out to a big lead, you start taking players off in the second half just to avoid any sort of injuries, which means that the opposition can sort of get back into the game slightly. I just think minus 27.5 seems just a lot of points. And with the Rebels, with the likes of Darby Lancaster, who's been one of their best, surely they can keep this game a wee bit closer than 27.5 points.
Yeah, I doubt that they'll rest players if it's sort of if they're created a pretty good lead. The best time for them to make changes will be in the second half, not so much straight away to protect their players. Start thinking like that, and then players will start going into things half-hearted around what their jobs and requirements are supposed to be. But I think the Rebels, although they're not going to be involved next year, they're still got something to say this week. People writ them off. Oh, well, I've slagged them off a bit this season. All the stuff that's outside of their control.
You've slagged off a few teams this season, to be fair, Piri.
He's not allowed in Canberra. Piri's not allowed. Or Christchurch, for that matter.
But I mean, I think this is their chance to try and speak up about it, and prove a point not only to their franchise but also to Australian Rugby League.
Surly, 27.5 points. 27.5 point start. That's a lot for a quarterfinal. And look, the Rebels got off to a quick start last week in Suva. They could do that again this weekend, and then the sort of the shape of the game changes. Then it's like the Hurricanes have to knuckle down, maybe play a wee bit of percentage football, get the ball down into the Rebels half, pick up some points, sort of thing. It's a possibility. The 27.5 points, too much for you, or you think the Canes can cover that?
I think the safer bet is the Canes 13 plus, because I do think that they will put a decent score on. But like you touched on, 27.5 is a lot of points. And the Rebels, they aren't any slouch. To be fair, the Canes compared to the Drua, that's a massive step up. So I don't expect the Rebels to get off to a fast start like they did. I think the Canes will be too strong. But yeah, any time that line's at 4 converted tries does make you a little nervous. So 13 plus, it's not paying as juicy, but I think it's the safer option. Yeah, I can't see this being close. I think the Canes win easy.
I guess if you're looking at a betting proposition, maybe looking for someone to score a try.
It's your favourite go-to.
TJ Perinara, he's $1.88 to score a try, but I thought maybe look at one of the loose forwards who have been very, very impressive this season. The likes of Braden Yossi, who's $2.40 to score a try. Peter Larkai, who's $2.40. Well, you said the Blues set piece was very, very good, has been very good this year. The Kane set piece certainly has also been very, very good and has allowed them that, foundation to launch attacks with a whole lot of confidence.
Yeah, massively. And they've been doing it over the last few weeks without Lomax as well, who you could argue was the best prop in New Zealand rugby prior to him going out. So, yeah, that Canes pack has really punched above their weight this year, in my opinion. We always knew they had that X factor in the loose forwards, but it was the tight five. There was a few question marks there, but they've proven when they're at full strength, man, they're not a team to mess around with, particularly at scrum time.
Any word from Wainui, Piri? You're close to the action.
Yeah, when's Lomax back?
Lomax?
Oh, I haven't actually. No word whatsoever, to be honest. I should actually message his dad and ask him.
Well, Goldie said he was going to be back last week, eh? That was some fake intel.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know, I'm thinking this week,
yeah,
because we gave you TJ Pirinada a few weeks ago, and that come through heavily. There's no money on the line for the reserves, eh? So your best bet is to put money on the subs.
You can only do that once they take the field.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking the field this week.
So any reserve in particular that you're looking at?
Naholo's sitting on the bench.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It might not be as much as TJ when TJ come off the bench.
Oh, it all depends what time he comes on and how much time is left. We'll decide the odds. But yeah, well, okay, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll get to our betting a wee bit later on. So I'll be very interested to see if you throw a Naholo in there at some stage. Right, we head up to Eden Park now. The Blues hosting the Fijian Drua. $1.02 the Blues. The Drua $11. 25.5 point favourites, the Blues. And the total points are set at 55.5. Surly, it'll be a big night up there in Auckland. Look, Fijian Drua have been very, very good at home. Not as good away from Suva. Can you see them putting up a fight here?
I don't think they'll roll over. They're one of those teams that are always going to bring that physicality and look to play some footy. So if anything, there'll be a few bruised bodies at full time at least. But I do think that Blues pack is functioning so well now. They've brought a real consistency this year. You know you're going to get at least a 7 out of 10 performance from them week in and week out. So in previous years gone past, you might have been slightly nervous just because they were a bit of a roller coaster. But I think the consistency and the way they play it now, they're so set on their game plan. They've got Harry Plummer and co pulling the strings really well. So, yeah, I think 20 to 30 point margin, potentially more.
Piri, the Blues, surely this is a match that they just go through their training. I guess when you train for a game like this, is it just like you said? It's just another game. We'll take it as it is. This is why we've got here. This is how we got here. We'll just continue with that.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess the only thing that they'd probably try and work hard on is stopping them from offloads, because the Drua are notorious, especially on a dry track. If it's a dry track, they're definitely going to throw the ball around. There'll be offloads coming out of nowhere, and they'll be latching onto it and creating havoc against any defensive team. So the Blues will probably still continue the way that they're playing. They might try a few different things just to see if it'll work, and then they'll have that up their sleeve moving forward. I guess the semis, when they play in the semis. But I think it's not going to be easy to start with. They're going to have to roll up their sleeves, take on the force that's coming from Fiji. But I think if they can withhold that, I think they should be able to go through their processes and get the job done.
Righty-ho, the last quarterfinal, Saturday night, kickoff 9:35 New Zealand time, and it's the Brumbies hosting the Highlanders. It's the only quarterfinal outside of New Zealand. The Brumbies are $1.15. Highlanders $5. They're 14.5-point favourites, the Brumbies, and the game total is set at 50.5. Surly, as you know, Piri doesn't like Canberra. I'm guessing the Highlanders probably don't like Canberra either. Can you make a case for the Highlanders upsetting the Brumbies here?
It's going to be hard. I think when you throw down the Blues, the Canes, the Chiefs on paper, and then the Brumbies, and you offer it to the Highlanders, they would probably take the Brumbies. But at the same time, I think we've seen that the top four is a different level above the rest of these teams this year. I think there has been a bit of a separation between the four and then the teams in kind of 5 through to 8. And I think we'll see this on the weekend too. I unfortunately think the Highlanders season comes to an end this weekend over in Canberra. If it was at the Sistema lunchbox, you might give them a better chance. But yeah, look, they're always a puncher's chance. But I'd be incredibly surprised if all of these favourites don't win and win fairly comfortably.
Pity it's not at the Sistema lunchbox. It's at the Canberra icebox. So you'd think that Highlanders would be accustomed to that sort of thing, although they've had a roof over their heads for a few years now. So have they been, I guess, accustomed to playing footy in really, really good conditions at home all the time? Can they go over to Canberra and upset the apple cart? The likes of Jonah Nariki, Tava Nawai.
Oh, it's a tough one. I'll probably say no, because they haven't really fired many shots since the first 3 rounds. A few games that they've played, they've only shown glimpses of what they can do as a team. But I don't think they're going to go over there after last week's result and play, like Shirley said, one of the top 4 teams in the competition and think that that's going to be enough. They've got to grow an extra arm and leg and make sure that everything is tight, especially around their defence system, because the Brumbies back three are pretty quick. They're elusive, and so if you can't keep them contained, they're just going to walk all over you. So it's going to be a tough ask for the Landers to get up over the Brumbies over in at the ice box. But yeah, I can't sort of see it happening. It'll be good though if they did do it. That means that 4 of the 5 New Zealand franchises will be moving on to the semi-finals.
Which one misses? Oh no, never mind. It also means that the Highlanders would be travelling back to Wellington to take on the Hurricanes if the Hurricanes did indeed get through. And I think I heard someone, it might have been Izzy actually, say the Highlanders side that won Super Rugby got thrashed by the Canes, I think the week before the playoffs, and then came back and won it. And were you part of that team?
What team?
The Canes team that lost the Super Rugby final was that TJ? Who?
You took 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
No, I wasn't involved. I was overseas.
Where Auckland?
Watching.
Auckland. Oh,
overseas watching.
Right.
From afar.
Okay. I couldn't
Another
remember.
one of those pills that most Hurricanes players had to swallow. Do you want to keep bringing that back up?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I like where this is going. Do you want to talk us through the emotions, Piri? It's like a counselling session there with Paulie. This is great.
Paulie's a Hurricanes fan too, so I don't know why he's going down this road.
Oh, geez. I'll give you the tip. It hurt me. I went to the game as well. I got tickets. I think it was on the morning of the game. It was sold out. But obviously there must have been some tickets that got returned. So I got a couple of tickets pretty much right on halfway. The only problem was I was right in the middle of a whole lot of Highlander fans.
They had a world-class organisation, and they had a pretty good spine too, the Highlanders then. I don't think they've got that opportunity with the spine that they got at the moment. So I can't sort of see that happening again. But thanks for that info, Izzy.
Try or no try. Try or no try.
Try or no try. Try. They got the W.
Oh,
2015. It says Landers not.
gee. Yeah, it was the bunker before the bunker.
Oh,
Right. A new little section here. It's hunch time.
lunch time.
Yeah, hunch time. And of course, we launched our new campaign earlier this week, Hunchland, where if you've got a hunch, you should probably act on it. So I'm going to go up to Surly first and see if he's got a hunch about anything this weekend.
Look, I think that there's going to be 4 clear winners in these games. So I thought you could go Canes, Blues, Chiefs, and Brumbies, all the home sides to win 13 plus. Multi those up together. That's paying $4.88. If you want to get a bit leery, I've just got a feeling that these top 4 teams are a level above. They're going to be too strong at home, and I think these quarterfinal games are going to be pretty comfortable wins.
Piri.
Jeez.
Yeah. Have you got a hunch? Can you look back on have you had any signs this week around what might happen?
What, for this? Only this weekend, or?
Oh, no.
I've just got
Yeah.
my hunch is that the Canes are going to go all the way.
Whoa!
You said that in the preseason,
No, I did.
and I laughed at you, to be fair, and now you look pretty good. So
Only reason why is because the style that they're playing at the moment. I've been to one training session and just watched, and I think from
he is in the
I've only been once. I said Surly. I only said once.
Mate, you're tapped in.
No way. No, just watching one session and then sort of the stuff that they've been doing on the socials as well. I think there's actually a real good culture that's been formed this year that's given them the confidence, no matter what the results are, to be able to pull it back, get over it real quick, and then focus on the next job. And then when they win, they peel it back again, look at what they did wrong or what they can fix to be better the following week. So I think the culture's been going really well, growing really well, and so has their confidence around it, because I think they might have only had that 2015 and 2016. They had a pretty good team culture, and I think Chris Boyd and Plumtree were involved in that, and I'm sure they definitely knew how to pull the team together. Missed out in 2015, but they got the job done in 2016. So, yeah, if they don't get the job done this year, I'm pretty sure they'll continue the same format or formula that they've had this year, and try and figure out how they can iron out the creases. But I think they're going to go all the way and get the job done.
Right. I've got a hunch because I had a dream. And it was after a rugby game. I was going home, and my home was, I looked at the letterbox, and it was number 8. I've never lived at number 8 anywhere. So I'm going to take all the home number 8s to score a try this weekend.
Wow.
So Braden Yose, who's a Chiefs, Satiti, Hoskins Satutu,
Yeah.
and the Brumbies number 8.
It'll be Valentini, is it? Or...
Is it Valentini? No. Or was it that fella Charlie?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's the kale chip.
Yep.
Yeah, healthy as well. So, yeah. I'm going to, that's my hunch. The number 8s at home are going to dominate. So
I actually really like that, Paulie. That's good stuff.
Well, yeah.
All 4 number 8s to score a try at home.
You sure you didn't pluck this one out of your ass?
I just said it was a dream.
I'm a bit worried because you named all current players too. I was expecting like a Zinzan Brook or something in there, you know?
Well, hey, he's done that in the past.
Yeah.
A couple of rounds, you know. Alex Talia.
Murray Mixted to score a try. Okay, boys. It's punting time again. So we'll head up to you first, Surly, and $100 to spend on the quarterfinals. Where are you going?
I've gone pretty safe here. I've gone with a $80 multi and then a $20 multi. I've just gone Chiefs, Canes, and Blues 13 plus, and then I've just gone the Brumbies head to head because it hurt me too much to chuck a Kiwi team getting pumped on the bet slip. So that gets me $2.33. And then for something a bit leery for $20, nothing crazy, I just went Braden Yossi and Ricky Riccatelli both to score, paying $4.61.
Oh, sounds pretty simple, Piri. Where are you going with yours?
I'm going to go down your pathway with the tries.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to put 50 on O'Reilly coming off the bench. Please let him on. Please put him on the field. And I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs. And I picked Tupaya to score a try.
Oh, off the bench too.
So 50 on each of
On
those.
both of those, yeah.
Okay.
That's good win of the season.
Well, that's why I'm limited to weeks here. So I've got to go big or don't go at all.
Right. I'm going to go with my number 8 special. All 4 home number 8s to score a try. That multi comes out to $43.29. I'm going to put $10 on that for all 4 home number 8s to score a try. And then I'm going to take, and I'm not betting against the Hurricanes. I'm just going to take the Rebels plus 27.5 because I
Sounds
just
like you're betting
think
against the Canes.
that line is just too big for mine. So I'm taking the Rebels plus 27.5. Look, I'm very comfortable with where the Hurricanes are at the moment. Very happy for them.
Doesn't sound like it.
I reckon.
And I'm gonna multi that into the Chiefs head to head at $1.22. Put $90 on that. So me number 8 special, and then just the Rebels plus 27.5 into the Chiefs head to head. I think we're traveling well.
This doesn't sound.
Well, you don't like that?
No, that sounds very confusing.
Well, how is that? Your one's confusing. I'm going to take O'Reilly, but he's not on the field yet, but I'm hoping that he gets on.
You talked about resting players. If they get a good, comfortable lead, O'Reilly's coming.
I have no doubt, yeah. And then a nice little 5-meter line out, drive over, boom. That's
cheeky move down the short side.
That's a Cody Taylor special.
I reckon Piri's been in it training, mate. I reckon he's been in it training.
Yeah, we get the good oil. He's seen the moves that they've been doing at training.
No way.
Yeah, you better listen to Piri this week. In terms of promotions, we've got the 3 or more leg same game multi, and that's for all 4 of the quarterfinals this weekend. We've got the mega multi oval ball. So if you like your multis and with the 4 games, you could build up a nice little kitty there, and if not, maybe pick up some bonus cash. So that's it. So this weekend, Piri, what are you up to? Big game?
No, not this week. We've actually got a big game next Wednesday. It's traditional against St. Pat's Silverstream out there. But this weekend I'll be coaching my daughter's netball team and her league team and every bloody team.
How are they going?
Netball?
Yeah.
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Can do better, but
is this a college team?
College team.
Right.
It's a senior B team. I don't know why they asked me to do it.
I just wondered. Hold on a minute. You've got experience?
I have.
Right.
A fair bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah. New Zealand under 21 representative. Played reps for indoor and outdoor.
Oh, is that right?
What position?
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Was that something you knew, Silly?
Nah, be interested to know what position. Were you a centre? What was the go?
Yep, centre. I was too short to shoot.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I'm just going to say, look, if he's not centre, he's probably wing defence or wing attack because I don't see him in the circle.
No, definitely. I pretty much ran around the court majority of the time and threw bullet passes. Catch that. Oh, yep, you got it.
That's unreal.
Surly, Northcote, what are they up to this weekend?
Yeah, we're taking on Mahurangi up there, who have been massive improvers this year. They're sitting in 5th. We've only got 3 games left, and if we go 3 from 3, we'll finish in 2nd and lock up a home semi and get the week off from the quarterfinal as well. So that'll be big for us. So all eyes are fixed on trying to go 3 from 3 in our last 3, get that week off, and then a home semi-final.
Is that a short season?
It seems like it, man. Like our final is the 17th of July, which seems like it's just starting to be winter. So, we're a team down in the comp. Someone had to withdraw early doors, so each team gets a bye, and that probably affected it. But yeah, only 3 games to go.
So top 2 get a bye in the first week. So is it a top 6? The playoffs. Okay, so 3rd place 6th, 4th place 5th, and then the lowest ranked winner plays the top of the table in the semi-final, and sort of like that.
Yeah, and then final at North Harbour Stadium. So,
Wolf.
If you win there, do you go over the bridge and play the winners of that comp?
Yeah, but it's not till the year after. It's in the pre-season, and there's prize money up for grabs. There's a tournament. It's for the Upper North Island champs, and there's 10K on the line, so it's good prize money. But unfortunately, it's the year after, and with the amount of movement in the club systems at the moment, you can have a whole different team. So I'd love to see it be at the end of their season, maybe as a bit of a game at Eden Park, a curtain raiser or something. That would be epic because there's always so much banter flying.
It could be the curtain raiser to the Battle of the Bridge.
There we go. I like that.
Bloody hell. But it just seems strange because there's plenty of weeks left. It's not like you're creeping into the cricket season, is it? I guess the Auckland club season, are they still going even when you guys have played your final? So,
well, I wouldn't be surprised too if it's all brought forward due to the All Black test, and then you got the NPC starting. Like provinces now, they like to have the guys for 3 or 4 weeks before the NPC starts as well, because that's such a compressed season. So yeah, it seems like every year it gets quicker and quicker. At the same time, unfortunately, player numbers are dropping off as well. So you see teams withdrawing and things like that, which is really sad as well.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's happening. The same sort of stuff's happening down
here.
as well. Yeah. Clubs are struggling with numbers, and it's not good.
Right. Well, we're not struggling for numbers as Super Rugby. We've got 8 teams left, and after this week, there'll be 4.
And Paulie reckons one will be the Rebels.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. 27 point got him.
Plus 27 and a half. There's a lot of room there for the Canes to win and me to pick up some money as well. So let's hope for that. Anyway, if you're going to one of the games, enjoy it. I'm sure it'll be a very, very good weekend of rugby. And we'll catch you back here next week around the same time when we talk about how the Canes are looking as they head into the semi-final.
Oh, it's too late to turn that around, mate. Come on.